Greetings, beloveds. It is I, Lord Metatron. I have come with the radiant light of Christ consciousness, and I exemplify it fully and completely in my essence, so that you may draw more fully into yourself, your nature, to exemplify it, and to assist in the transformation and ascension of your planet. Our discussion this evening is around fear. This is an important discussion because over the remaining months of this year, you will be tempted on many occasions to revert to the old paradigm through fear and separation. So if you are well prepared ahead of time and you are able to see clearly what is playing out in front of you and choose wisely, you benefit humanity greatly. Many of you have prepared for quite some time now for the events that are occurring in this ascension process. But I tell you that many in the collective consciousness of humanity are not prepared for what they are about to witness. And many will revert to that old programming of third dimension relating to fear. It is beings such as you who will hold steady and firmly within their heart center that will enable them to make the changes that are necessary for each one of them, changes that you have already made in yourself. So let us go into a historical venue so that you will fully understand what fear is and the strength and the hold that it has on humanity. The fall of consciousness took many hundreds, thousands of years for the earth to fall from a 12th dimensional planet, consciousness, into a third dimensional state. Much of it was caused through a misuse of power, dominance over, a misuse of earth energy, of the beloved elementals, the elemental kingdom, who created the beauty of a 12th dimensional planet in form. And as these destructional forces began to take a viable presence in the realm of form through humanity, and the misappropriations of energy, intent, and creation, there was much destruction. And so that humanity and the beloved earth would not be totally destroyed, great beings gathered at the Godhead to prevent such a cataclysm. It was decided through the intervention of Sunat Kumara and many of the Lords of Light in the Master Realm that a third dimensional template would be put in place. There were many advantages to this third dimensional consciousness. It would hold the earth very stably from spiraling into oblivion. It was stable, even though it was dense. And it presented many hindrances in the fact that there was so much separation consciousness that was part of this third dimensional matrix. So as humanity was positioned in that third dimensional matrix so that it could survive and the earth could survive, there were many downsides to that matrix. The main one was this separation. Survival consciousness and separation consciousness that were ruled by the ego of that third dimensional matrix. And the ego prevented all those embodied from seeing their unity, from seeing their true nature as a Christed being. It was based in a template of fear. It was shrouded in this complexity of fear that played out in every avenue of creation. It was based solely in separation and survival. So when you can see fear, when you can look at fear accurately, clearly, and see that you have a choice, when you don't run away from it or you react to it, but you stand in your sacred heart and you see the purpose of it so the planet and humanity could survive, but yet within that dense complexity, that you could alter that template of fear by making choices that allowed you to step outside of that and know who you were in that unity consciousness. This took thousands of years to bring you to the point where you are today. There were thousands of years that humanity existed solely from that survival-based consciousness, and everything was based on that. Will the community accept me? Will they like me? If I am not accepted, I cannot survive. I will not have, at a physical level, what is needed to sustain my body. So every relationship was based and gauged on, will I be accepted? So even if it was in opposition to what you knew of yourself, another image was portrayed solely through the fear of being accepted, liked, and your ability to survive, to create what you needed at a physical level to survive. It took thousands of years to step out of that rigid template. But many of you did, which now brings us to this wonderful timing of the return of the Christ, to open the doors widely for the ascension process to take place for all of humanity. This fear template is so rigid and so dense and so much a part of the physical makeup of a third dimensional body that it is a very difficult template to dismantle. And many of you have successfully overcome much of your reaction through fear and are beginning to look more closely at what motivates your decisions so that the decisions that are made more clearly. And you recognize that fear is a detriment to you in your ability to create from your Christed nature, from who you are. Create out of love, out of choice, to embody the light of the all that is. The ego is being transformed by beings such as yourself, as you recognize that this ego cannot rule your life, cannot overshadow it and keep you in reactive states so that you can't create effectively. So you are choosing differently. And every time you choose according to your Christed nature, according to the love that is in your heart, you alter the ego a little more. You bring in light. You begin to transform it because of the presence of light in your heart center. You begin to see yourself differently, and you begin to create from your soul spirit. The key here is in altering your opinion of fear, altering the victimization that fear has held humanity in for thousands of years, and recognizing that if you approach it face on from your heart, where the power of your soul is held, that you can make another choice and overcome the fear. And every time that you do this and you notice the result of the positive effect that you have had on not only yourself but on humanity, this is another part of this transformation out of fear, the template out of fear, is in the recognition of your ability to create differently from a light-filled template, from your soul essence. And every time you notice, every time you recognize what you have done, what you have accomplished in those choices, you transform that ego positioning a little more, which then allows the soul to begin to have a more dominant function. The soul is the essence of who you are in a physical experience, in a physical body. That physical body for thousands of years has been dominated by the ego, which is based in that energetic template of fear that is so dense and rigid. But because of many of you have made different choices, have begun to see your light, have begun to accept the love that you are, and step out of reaction and choose wisely. There are times as you operate in your life experience in the exterior world that you bump up against those who have not attained the consciousness that you hold. And they still operate in that fear of survival. They still operate in putting up false images of themselves just to be accepted or to gain power. And when you recognize that, you can shine your light. You can hold your center that has an effect on them. You may not see it immediately, but it does change the environment. It changes and gives forth an opportunity for those in the collective consciousness who have not prepared themselves for these vast changes that are upon humanity at this time. these are crucial times that you must hold your center. You must recognize fear for what it is, as a third-dimensional template held in rigidity that must be faced, released, and created differently. Creation, as you create, must come from your soul spirit, not from your ego. Much is being asked of all of you, of all humanity who has stepped up and changed and altered themselves individually as they have drawn in their Christed nature more fully. And when you operate in your own comfortable environment, there is no fear. It is only when you have to interact with rigid parts of society at work or in certain social situations, in certain relationships, that you are affected. Many times you are able to hold your center and make changes just by being who you are. Some months ago, Archangel Michael came forth at the fall equinox and asked you to band together to create a critical mass that will sustain you in these times of change. And many listened. Many received what he had to say and worked diligently to increase the frequencies of light that they held so that they could dismantle any residual of the fear template that resided, that had not been dismantled. If you examine fear at a deeper level, every reaction, every out-of-alignment creation, as you uncover it, because many times it is layered, and as you look at it and you face it, you clearly see it. At the core of that layering will be the thoughts around separation, of a victim role, of an inability to survive at a physical level. You are eternal, and yes, you do need your physical body to navigate these earthly planes, but you have a soul spirit that is eternal and that holds wisdom and light and love that you can draw on. If you stand strong and face your fear, look at it clearly and see where the issue lies. What part of you is fearful of either being accepted or your ability to create and sustain your body, your physical needs. When you can do this, you will no longer be hindered by the ego because you have begun the process of transformation of the ego, bringing it into the light of its true Christed nature. And it can take care of the body to warn you, to give you signals when there are discrepancies within the body that need to be paid attention to, not from fear of survival, but from the position of creating health and well-being. To warn you, the ego warns you when you put yourself in harm's way, in environments that are not conducive to your ability to enhance the light that you hold. This is the value of your ego. So as you are willing and courageously look at the fear and where that fear is positioned in your survival consciousness, you will be able to dismantle it from your energetic field once and for all. And when you do this, you will bring a new template to the collective consciousness for them to follow. For they are not as prepared for these changes that are occurring on your earth plane at this time, changes that are required of humanity to make within each individual so that they can be the reflection of their divine image. You are few on the earth now, and it is important, not through fear, that you recognize the gift that you hold and that you give to humanity. You are the Christ, just as Yeshua exemplified that Christ imaging over 2,000 years ago. These are auspicious times. The alignments in the heavenly realm exemplify the return of the Christ. You are part of that return. And the key in that return is the dismantling once and for all of this energetic of fear. And it is done through the ego and the soul spirit uniting in this transformation. The energetics that Archangel Gabriel set at the beginning of this conference are very important for you to look at and recognize and position yourself in that sacred heart. Every one of you, each morning as you arise from the sleep state, to set that energy in your field of your sacred heart. Position yourself within it so that you can draw on your power and your strength and your courage. You draw on your Christed template as the individualized expression of the Christ at this time. You willingly face the fears that are exemplified in the lower ego. You look at them clearly and you alter them significantly with the light that you hold. For yourself, this transformation takes place with you individually, dismantling that fear that you hold in that lower aspect of you, in the ego, looking at what it is, facing it, and then altering it. When you understand that fear cannot have control over you, fear is a template, is an energetic template that was created by humanity to sustain life in the physical realm. It is time now to alter that template. It is no longer needed. So it is not bigger than you are. You are not the victim. You are a creator. You are the image of the Christed nature. And when you recognize that in your heart, you are not subservient to that old, worn-out template of fear. You create differently. You face it. You recognize what it is, and you choose a new way to create in which life is sustained. I thank you for receiving me. It was important that I give you some historical data and some basis of what fear is so that you understand that you have the ability, the dominance over that fear factor. For it is only an energetic that is in the process of being dismantled. And you are part of that process because of the power that you hold. Archangel Michael, who is the holder of light and the distributor of light frequencies that are part of Prime Creator, the source of your being, will come forward now to speak with you on how you can more efficiently draw the light into you that He has come to give you in great abundance, to assist in the changes that must occur in these coming times. We hold you in high regard, beloveds, and we stand with you as you make these alterations. We thank you for receiving us. Know that the entire archangelic realm stands with you to guide you, to support you in this great event that you are participating in. I will withdraw from this channel so that Archangel Michael might speak. Greetings, beloveds. It is I, Michael. I come to present to you 3 energetic templates of light that I distribute to each and every one of you. The first energetic template is courage. It is a frequency of light that is given to you completely and is available for you to use in this time of change. This frequency of light that surrounds courage is available to you always and is held very stably by me so that you might use it efficiently. Draw it in. It is needed. It is part of the shield, if you will, that you are creating with me at this very moment. You are creating a shield of light that reflects light and draws light to it. And the first component of that shield is courage. Breathe it in. Visualize yourself creating with me this magnificent shield of light that is a receiver and a transmitter. Can you see the vibrance within this shield? Can you see how the light is drawn into it and the radiance that is exemplified through courage to face any obstacle that presents a fallen paradigm so that you might dismantle it and navigate more fully in your Christed nature. Breathe it in as I pour it forth unto you at this time. The second attribute of this shield is fearlessness, ability to stand your ground, to hold your light, to be the Christ. The image of the Christ is based in fearlessness, filled with light and love that are never separate in their function. So there is never any whisper of dominance over in this fearless action that you take in these times of change. Breathe in this great light frequency of fearlessness and make it a part of your makeup. It is part of your shield and is radiating the love and the light of your source. And when you have that love and that light of source, you can be fearless because you are powerful. Take it in. Breathe it in. Receive. The third template, the light that I dispatch to you at this time, is the light of Source as the creator of change, the image, the perfected image of the Creator. Take it in. Receive it. It is part of who you are. The power of the Creator to create effectively as the Christ, to create the changes that are required to bring this planet fully and completely into the ascension process, to effect a change in the collective consciousness, to open the pathway for those to follow who have not prepared as you are prepared. Take it in this radiant shield that you have been gifted with in this moment. You have all that is needed to navigate and create change in the world. But you must use it. You must center yourself in your sacred heart and hold that shield firmly so that this light is exemplified, so it consistently draws in more frequencies of light that are offered to you on a regular basis. The light, the love of Source, the courage, the fearlessness, and the creative mechanism that you hold within you to create the change. Very dynamic, energetic shield that you are given. Hold it firmly in the forefront of your energetic field. Display it so that you transmit it into all realms of form. I lovingly disperse these energies to you to assist you in what you are called forth to do. Most importantly, you must recognize the first process is to dismantle any residual of fear energy that might be still present within your being. What the issue is at the core of it, taking your courage and your fearlessness and your creativeness and dismantling it once and for all so that you can hold that shield and transmit pure energies of love and unity and receive consistently great frequencies of light that will assist you to stand very firmly in who you are as the Christ. The return of the Christ is now, and you are part of that return. Do you recognize it? Can you step out of the fear of change long enough to notice, to recognize it? Make the changes first within yourself and then hold that shield firmly, openly, to transmit the energies of change for all to see. We stand with you, beloveds. We give to you always great light and great love. We unite with you as you create changes in the physical realm. The fall was created in the physicality of humanity, and so it must be redeemed in that physicality. So we are dependent on you to provide this and to open the collective consciousness to follow. You must alter and change this rigid template into light. Recognize our presence as your support system, but also recognize each and every part of that shield that was given to you this evening. Unlimited courage, unrestrained fearlessness, and most importantly, the love and light that is part of you as the creator of the new fifth dimensional matrix. We thank you for receiving us this evening and giving us the opportunity to assist you in these very important times. Blessings, beloveds, blessings.